Gold runs in the Beets family's veins, but no one could have predicted the emotional shock of what Mike Beets ultimately left behind. For years, he worked in the shadow of his legendary father, Tony Beets, the Klondike King, quietly keeping the gears of the family's gold mining empire turning. While his outspoken siblings, Kevin and Monica, often drew the spotlight, Mike built something of his own away from the cameras and headlines. Tony Beets's fortune has grown to an estimated $15 million, the result of decades of hard-fought mining victories and savvy claim management. By comparison, Mike's net worth has remained only a fraction of that, a miner's fortune rather than a tycoon's. But numbers alone don't tell the whole story. Mike's years in the unforgiving Yukon weren't just about gold. They were about sacrifice, loyalty, and a quiet legacy that would deliver one final surprise powerful enough to bring his family to tears. Growing up in the Klondike, born into a dynasty built on grit, Mike was immersed in gold mining from the moment he could walk. The second youngest of the Beets children, he spent his teenage years learning the trade from the ground up. By just 13 years old, Mike was already putting in long hours in the frigid Yukon mornings, tackling some of the dirtiest and most physically demanding jobs on the claim. It wasn't long before he earned his place as the crew's heavy machinery expert. From 40-ton cranes to massive Oshkosh trucks and multi-million-dollar wash plants, if it was heavy and critical to the operation, Mike was the man in the driver's seat. His work kept the entire Beets empire moving, sometimes quite literally. While Kevin and Monica carved out leadership roles that brought higher profits, Mike remained on the ground, earning a miner's wage. On Gold Rush, his appearances earned him around $25,000 per episode, roughly $500,000 for a full season. But the bulk of his income comes from hands-on mining work, a far cry from the massive returns enjoyed by those managing business operations. Mike's lifestyle reflects his personality: quiet, hardworking, and far from flashy. He avoids the spotlight, keeps his private life under wraps, and has no public social media presence. There are no public records of a spouse or children, leaving fans to wonder if his life outside the mine is as solitary as it appears on screen. Outside the mining world, Mike's biggest passion is surprisingly medieval. He's a dedicated full-contact medieval combat enthusiast, donning a 60-pound suit of armor and stepping into the arena for real sword fights. While others in his family spend their downtime thinking about gold, Mike spends his nights in nightly battles, a pastime that blends discipline, skill, and danger in ways not unlike his day job. Mining life for Mike hasn't been without danger. One of the most nerve-wracking moments came when he was tasked with transporting the $300,000 Kiwi wash plant from Paradise Hill to Dominion Creek. What should have been a routine haul turned into a disaster when one of the securing chains snapped, sending the massive equipment crashing off the trailer. The accident threatened to derail the season entirely. Acting quickly, Tony gathered a recovery crew, and Mike took control of a front-end loader, carefully lifting and repositioning the plant. Miraculously, the main component survived. After double securing the load, the crew inched the machine to its destination after 8 grueling hours, a testament to Mike's skill and composure under pressure. Another brush with disaster happened on the steep roads to Indian River. Driving a semi, loaded with heavy equipment, Mike lost traction on a wet incline, the truck sliding dangerously toward a sheer drop. With help from his cousin, Levin Beets, they secured the vehicle with heavy-duty chains and pulled it to safety. These moments revealed the true weight of Mike's role. He's often the one who steps in when disaster looms. While Kevin now manages his own claim and Monica oversees gold cleanups, Mike remains the backbone of Paradise Hill operations. He's the one ensuring the heavy equipment is running, the wash plants are fed, and the season's most critical moves happen without collapse. From transporting machinery across treacherous terrain to keeping operations steady in brutal weather, Mike's work has kept the Beets family among the top gold producers in the Klondike. His role has been especially crucial in major undertakings like the family's high-stakes return to Indian River after 4 years away, a move that required relocating massive machinery over dangerous remote trails. Mike Beets' fortune isn't measured purely in gold ounces or dollar signs. The years he's poured into the Beets empire, the rescues, the long nights, the dangerous hauls, and the unshakable loyalty have built something intangible but priceless. According to those close to the family, Mike left behind more than equipment, more than paychecks, and more than claim rights. What he left was a lasting mark of dedication, proving that sometimes the greatest fortunes aren't made in gold pans, but in the legacy of hard work and quiet integrity. It was this legacy, more than any pile of gold, that brought tears to the eyes of the Beets family. Mike Beets has always done things his own way, and if his past is any indication, whatever he chooses next will be just as unforgettable. Could Mike Beets be the next mine boss in the Klondike? For years, Gold Rush fans have watched Mike Beets operate quietly in the background of the Beets mining empire. While his siblings Kevin and Monica often take the lead, Mike's role has been different. Less about command, more about control. Control of the machines, control of the transport, control of the very backbone of Paradise Hill's operations. But as Season 15 has shown with Kevin's successful run as a mine boss, many are beginning to wonder, could Mike be next in line to run a mine of his own? Kevin's path to leadership was built on years of learning the ropes from Tommy and gradually taking on greater responsibility. Mike, on the other hand, has been running large-scale operations since his teens. Heavy machinery. He's a master emergency problem-solving. He's proven himself time and again, whether recovering a topple $300,000 wash plant or rescuing a semi from sliding off a Yukon mountain road. In fact, some would argue Mike has already been doing the work of a mine boss. He's just been doing it under the Beets banner without the official title. The Beets family has never been shy about tackling more ground and bigger goals. With Kevin successfully managing his own claim in Season 15 and Monica continuing to oversee gold cleanups and crew coordination, there's a growing need for more leadership within the family. Tommy has been in the business for decades, but as the empire stretches across multiple claims, it's clear that new bosses will be needed to keep each operation running smoothly. Mike could easily fill one of those roles. His years of experience with the family's most crucial assets, the wash plants, the trucks, the dozers, mean he already understands the inner workings of a successful mine from the ground up. If Mike were to take over a claim, his approach might be different from Kevin's. Kevin's leadership style is calculated and methodical with a focus on production targets and team management. Mike, however, might lead more from the trenches, preferring to be hands-on with his crew rather than directing from a distance. His deep technical knowledge and willingness to get his hands dirty could earn him the respect of both veteran miners and rookies alike. This boots-on-the-ground style could be a game-changer, especially in the unforgiving conditions of the Yukon, where adaptability and speed are often the difference between hitting a season's gold target or falling short. If Gold Rush continues to follow the Beets family's journey, a season where Mike runs his own mine seems not only possible but likely. Viewers could witness him taking full control, from hiring and managing his own crew to setting gold targets to making the tough calls when weather machinery or manpower threatened production. And given his track record under pressure, fans might see Mike's mind becoming one of the most efficient in the Klondike. He's already proven he can handle the heat when disaster strikes as a boss. That same calm determination could lead to some of the most dramatic and rewarding paydays on the show. Whether it happens next season or a few years down the line, the pieces are already in place for Mike Beets to step into a mine boss role. He has the skills, the experience, and the trust of his family. All that's left is the opportunity. And in the Beets family, opportunity often comes with a challenge attached. If Mike accepts the challenge, the Yukon could be looking at its next great mine boss, and Gold Rush fans might be in for one of the most exciting leadership transitions in the show's history.